Jai Shri Ram. About the origin of Ganesha, we all know one story only. There are many. I collected at least five. The most popular one is from Shiva Purana, which you know. That is about Parvati Devi. When she wanted to take a bath, she actually created some turmeric paste which she wanted to apply to her body. But since there was nobody there, everyone was away, there were no attendants to prevent anybody from walking into the house, she created a boy using the turmeric paste. And actually the popular version is she applied all this sunnipindi, which is a mixture of besan, that is gram flour and turmeric and a few flavoring agents and all that she already applied to her body. And then when she is peeling off, sort of exfoliating, removing all that, with that waste material she created Ganesha. That I think is bad, in bad taste. It is yucky, disgusting, repugnant. Somebody must have done this distortion into the Shiva Purana to give Ganesha a bad name and make it look so disgusting. So I think we should never talk about such a thing. That is wrong. That is not the story. In the Shiva Purana, she created this turmeric paste which she was intending to apply to her body, but she took that and created a boy. She infused life into the boy, and that became Ganesha. And then Parvati ordered Ganesha not to allow anyone to enter the house, and Ganesha was very obedient, following his mother's orders. And after some time, Shiva returned from some morning walk or something. He tried to enter the house. Ganesha stopped him. Shiva is infuriated because of the strange little boy who dared to challenge him. So Ganesha told Shiva that Shiva told Ganesha that he was Parvati's husband and demanded that Ganesha let him go. But Ganesha would not listen to anybody rather than his own mother. So finally it led to a heated argument, and Shiva lost his patience, and there was a fierce battle, and he severed Ganesha's head with his Trishulam. Parvati came out, saw the lifeless body. She was terribly angry, very upset. She demanded Shiva to restore Ganesha to life at once. So Shiva's Trishula was so powerful that it hurled Ganesha's head very, very far off, in fact destroyed the head. So there was no way it could be recovered. So as a last resort, Shiva approached Brahma, who suggested that he replace Ganesha's head with the first living being that came his way, which lay with its head facing north. Now you see, there are so many twists and turns in the whole story. This is the original. Not that Parvati scraped her skin and took that filth and created Ganesha. Ganesha cannot be made out of anybody's filth. Okay. So Shiva then sent his celestial armies, Ganas, Shiva Ganas, to find that head. So they found this Asur sleeping, this Gajasur sleeping with his head facing north. So they decapitated the Asura and took the elephant's head, and that is how Ganesha was brought back to life after the head was fixed to his torso, and he became Ganapati, or the head of all the celestial armies. You see, Shiva Ganas are also, all kinds of creatures are there. So Ganesha was now with this elephant head, he was looking much more physically strong and powerful, and therefore he was named also the Ganapati, the head of all the celestial armies. So this is the Shiva Purana version. Okay. Now one more is there, which is from, I told you there are 5 I collected. So the other one from Ganesha Purana. In Ganesha Purana there is the mention of an elephant again, an asura called Gajasura, who was undertaking tapas, penitence. He was worshipping Shiva, and Shiva was satisfied by this austerity, and he decided to grant him a boon. And so the Rakshas, the Asur, wished that he could emanate fire continually from his own body, so that nobody would ever dare to approach him. So Shiva said, Tathastu. So now just imagine, Gajasura is an Asur. From every pore in his body, fire is emanating, so nobody can attack him. So then Gajasura continued his tapas for many more years, thousands of years, and Shiva again appeared. And this time Gajasura asked him, Shiva said, okay, take a boon. And Gajasura said, okay, I want you to inhabit my stomach. You must reside, O Shiva, in my stomach. And Shiva, is known as Bhola Shankar. He is easily pleased and he grants anything without bothering about the consequences. So that is the naivety, guilelessness, arjavam, straightforward, no cunning. Shiva is such a simple deity. So Bhola Shankar. So Shiva said okay, and Shiva took up residence in the Asura's stomach. So now there is a problem. With Shiva away and residing in the Asura's stomach, a whole problem was created for heavens and the entire bureaucracy, devatas and all of them. They went to Parvati, and Parvati said okay. She found out that Shiva is now residing in this fellow's stomach. So she then found out exactly what all happened, and she knew that Shiva cannot be brought out like that because Shiva willingly went there as he gave a boon. So she went to her brother Vishnu and asked him to help. So Vishnu said, don't worry, we will take care of this problem. So it's all right. Bhola Shankar is always getting into trouble like this. Now this is again a twist in the tale created by Vishnu Bhaktas to prove that Vishnu is superior to Shiva. So these kind of things have always been there. But remember, Itihasa Purana Abhyam Vedam Samupabhrumhayet. Vedam Samupabhrumhayet. Itihasa Purana Abhyam Vedam Samupabhrumhayet. This statement actually means that these itihasas and Puranas have been written with the intent of making it easy for common man to understand higher philosophy. Pure metaphysics, pure philosophy cannot be easily appreciated by all people, especially the common man. So therefore these fantastic tales have been woven. Okay. And Ramayana also, as per the Puranas themselves, happened millions of times. Rama came millions of times, and in every time he visited as an avatara, there is a twist in the tale. So the story goes that once when Rama wanted to leave because his avatara was done and dusted, everything was over, he had to go back. He was worried that Hanuman would not let him go. So he called Hanuman and told him, see, my ring slipped into what do you call that? So that's a sinkhole. Sinkhole. A sinkhole is a depression in the ground, you see, which leads to an underground cavern, very deep one. So these things are there. So Hanuman went down into that sinkhole, into that subterranean cave, to find out, to locate the lost ring. And finally he reaches Patala Lokam. There he meets Vasuki the king, and he says, I have come to search for Rama's ring. He said, yeah, there are many there. So he shows a place. There he sees a huge mountain full of rings, several mountains. So Hanuman is trying to locate the ring, and then Hanuman is not able to do that. So Hanuman discovers that there are huge mountains and mountains of Rama's rings. He has an epiphany. He realizes that Rama came millions and millions of times and went away. So this process is cyclic. It is going on and on. Wonderful story, isn't it? So by the time Hanuman came back with the ring, Rama went away, and another Rama was already there who is on his mission. So Hanuman did not have any problem, and so that's how the story goes. So now Vishnu told Parvati, don't worry, we will do something. So Vishnu staged a small comedy. So Vishnu became the director, an impresario. Impresario. Impresario means the manager of a public entertainment event, like an event management manager. So Vishnu arranged this wonderful drama. He asked Nandi to become like a dancing bull, and all these Nandi and Shivaganas, they all got dressed up like like a dance troupe, and Nandi is the big leader, so the dancing bull, and he's doing all kinds of dancing and singing rap and reggae and all that. So they all appeared in front of Gajasura. So Gajasura was fascinated looking at this. He's dancing. Just imagine a bull doing a dance like Michael Jackson. So Nandi is doing Michael Jackson style dancing. Isn't it amazing? The enchanting performance of Nandi sent the Asura into ecstasies, and he also started the dance. So everyone is busy dancing, and they completely forgot their own selves, and they were just having a great time, gala time, like a huge carnival. Just imagine millions of these weird creatures. Shivaganas are all weird and all that. All mutants are there. So they are all dancing. Amazing dances were being performed, and Gajasura is also busy dancing heavily. After some time, they just took a little rest. Then suddenly Vishnu appeared. Then Gajasura found out that it was Vishnu who organized all this wonderful entertainment. So Gajasura asked what he wanted. Gajasura was also a kind-hearted, charitable fellow. So Vishnu was actually the flutist. He was playing the flute, and all these chaps were dancing, including Nandi. So finally, Gajasura asked, who's the leader? So Vishnu said, I am the guy who's organizing. Fine, very good, thank you very much. Wonderful, what is your fees? What do you want? So Vishnu said, can you give me what I asked? Yes, of course. What do you think I am? Who do you think I am? And then I can give you whatever you want immediately. So the flutist Vishnu said, if you can give me what you promise you will give me, liberate Shiva from your stomach. So Gajasura realized that this is Vishnu and he has been tricked, and so he threw himself at the feet of Vishnu and he said, please at least give me one gift. I have been blessed with you by so many gifts. My last request is that everyone should remember me, adore my head even after I am dead. I want to be famous. Shiva said, okay, we'll grant this fellow, because thank you Vishnu, because of you I managed to get out of this fellow's stomach, so we must give him some credit for obeying your order. So Shiva said, okay, your head will now be substituted, and my son's head, instead of my son having his normal head, he will have your head, so you will then be worshipped also. So this is how Ganesha came into existence. Interesting story. So this is the result of the gift of Shiva to Gajasura. So Shiva gave a gift to Gajasura, the boon, and finally Ganesha was created. So this is an more interesting story, isn't it? Now I'll tell you one more. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, there is another instance. There is a wonderful story. Parvati fasted for 1 year. She fasted for 1 year because she wanted a son, and she was propitiating Vishnu, her brother. And so Vishnu, who was actually busy performing the role of Sri Krishna at that time, not that Vishnu is not capable, Krishna is actually Vishnu. Vishnu and Krishna are the same, isn't it? In fact, Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. So Krishna granted Parvati her boon, and he said that he would incarnate himself as her son in every kalpa. Now you see, kalpa is an eon, E-O-N or A-E-O-N in English. Eon or A-E-O-N mean galactic time. That means tens of thousands of years. So Krishna was born to Parvati, and the event was celebrated. All the gods were invited, and even Shani happened to turn up there, and everyone came and blessed the child. But Shani was very hesitant. He did not want to look at the baby's face because he was scared that his gaze might harm the baby. But Parvati insisted that he should take a look at the baby without any fear, no problem. But Shani did, and immediately the infant's head fell off and it flew off to Golokam. So Shiva and Parvati were grief stricken, and so Krishna mounted the Garuda and he rushed to Golokam, and from the banks of Pushpabhadra river, the Pushpabhadra river, he brought the head of an elephant, because the infant's head had become such a devout bhakta of Krishna that it was refusing to come. Therefore, Krishna brought back the head of a young elephant, which was very obedient to Krishna's request, and the elephant was very keen to do Krishna's bidding. So he took the elephant's head, and the elephant's head was joined to the headless body of Parvati's son, and thus he was revived, and the infant was named Ganesha, and all the gods blessed and wished him power and prosperity, and that is how Ganesha came into existence. This is from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. So the next story is from the Aditya Purana. See, many people think that there are only 36 Puranas, 18 Mahapuranas and 18 Upapuranas. In fact, there are more than 50. So Aditya Purana is a minor one. Not many people are aware of it. So in this Purana, the story of Ganesha's birth is like this. Kashyapa Rishi, who is the progenitor, so Kashyapa Prajapati, who is the progenitor of all mankind, and he had innumerable wives, and through all his wives all the different creatures, humans and all animals, everything included, was born. So Kashyapa had a son by name Aditya, who became very violent and worse than an asura, and so finally he had to be slain, and so Shiva slew Aditya, and Kashyapa was enraged, and Kashyapa cursed Shiva that Shiva's son would also die, and he would also lose his head, just as Shiva slew Aditya with his Trishula. So when this happened, when Shiva's son died and his head got severed because of the curse of Kashyapa, the head of Indra's elephant was used to replace it. So that is how Ganesha came into existence. This is the Aditya Purana version. Now you have another version from the Malini Purana, which is another very less known Purana. So here, Malini was an elephant headed goddess. In fact, she was Ganga herself in an earlier incarnation, and she prayed to Parvati and wished that she be born to Parvati as her son, and she was born to Parvati with 4 arms and 5 elephant heads, and Ganga, the goddess Ganga, claimed him as her son, but Shiva refused, and then he reduced the 5 heads to 1 and enthroned him as Vigneshwara, giving him the powers to help people to get over, surmount all kinds of obstacles. So this is a very interesting version from the Malini Purana. Now I have given you 5. Basically, don't believe all the crap and nonsense composed by many Hindu phobic rascals with the only interest of denigrating our scriptures. So these are all fantastic stories anyway. You are free to believe whatever you want. So like I already told you, the principle is Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samupabhrumhayet. I can write one more explaining how Ganesha came into existence, and you will be free to accept it or deny it. So anything is possible. Remember, if you are aware of quantum mechanics, quantum mechanics tells you that there is no such thing as a state of matter. Everything is in flux. There are infinite dimensions, parallel universes, and anything is possible. So our rishis knew quantum mechanics. You see, the seed of quantum mechanics is very much present in every Purana. So if you are sufficiently in the know of quantum mechanics, like Niels Bohr said, if quantum mechanics does not confuse you, it means that you have not understood anything. So that is how it is. So these are the 5 different versions of the origins of Ganesha. and don't let anybody fool you and ask silly questions. Tell them to go to hell. These are the kind of questions which are intended to make a Hindu defensive. So tell them, it could be either a Christian, Muslim, or a communist who is likely to prod you and ask you about these weird origins. Tell them to go to hell. Tell them to look at their holy books, which are full of utter filth and irrational nonsense. So I leave it there. Jai Shri Ram.